I'm an ALF consultant who help people get licensed on first inspection in Florida. Today, I'm going to go over 5 things you must do if you want to succeed on your initial licensing process as a new person in 2026. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Carlene Cadet Francois. I'm an ALF consultant who help my clients get licensed on first inspection. I'm also the organizer behind the annual Assisted Living Caregivers Conference. Today, I'm going to use some of my experiences from helping clients get licensed throughout the state of Florida to save you some pain and suffering on your licensing process. 5 things that you must do to find success and minimize the headaches. Number 1, your environment. Your environment determines everything. I like to use as example, we have 2 little cats. They're rescued cats. We found them when they were little. They were so little that we literally had to feed them milk. Their eyes weren't even open yet. They became in-house cats and they're literally afraid to go outside. They are wild animals who are afraid to go outside. So that tells you your environment determines everything. If you're in a toxic environment where people are telling you the ALF is not good, you're not going to succeed, you're not going to do well, they're telling you so many horror stories of different people that have failed in the business, you need to change your environment. You need to put yourself in a room of like-minded people. These rooms comes in different settings. For example, you can attend conferences. You can put yourself in a online community. You can attend different senior care events where people are actually succeeding, where you have a group of like-minded people. You can see those who are in the process, those who are actually managing those ALFs, those who are just getting into the business, but nonetheless, putting you in a room where you can walk away with some resources, putting yourself in a room where people are not fighting against your own goals or discouraging you, putting yourself in a room where the opposite happens, where people are telling you, yes, you can do this, where you're actually seeing people that have done it, where you're actually seeing new people getting into the business is exciting. It's priceless. Put yourself in the right room. That's number 1. Number 2, mentorship. So after you put yourself in the right room, it's only a matter of time before you find the people that you align with and that can actually help you. When you choose a mentor, choose someone that have done the thing that they promise that they can do for you. For example, if they say they can help clients open assisted living businesses, see if they've actually done that for a client that is actually successful in running their ALFs. That's how you're going to know whether or not this person is actually capable of helping you. The worst thing you can do is try to figure this process out on your own, because it could be so confusing that you will end up giving up. And if you don't give up, it will take you so long to actually get going. And I speak to people on a daily basis that have said to me, I've been in this process for like 3 years, for 4 years, for 5 years. I've always wanted to do this. Or I speak to others that say things like, I've been doing this process for over 2 years and I'm still lost and confused. Don't do that to yourself. Find yourself a mentor that have actually done the thing that they're promising you to do, that have actually helped people open LFs here in Florida. I said it, here in Florida. Why? Because licensing rules and regulations are different from state to state. Save yourself the headache. Find a mentor that you align with, that you like their energy, that have done the thing that they said they have done in the past and have actually helped clients to actually find success. Number 3, planning and budgeting. We know that this process is an investment, so you're required to plan. Oftentimes, I see people get into business and they're not sure what the process is. Get educated. I'm always looking for a mentor that have done something that I want to do, and they can tell me what pitfalls to avoid, what I need to focus on, because there's so much information out there, you can literally get lost. Find out what you're getting into. Find a mentor that have helped people to actually get licensed, that have a proven record, If they have a course, buy it. Why? Because if you understand what you're getting yourself into, now you can understand how to better prepare. For example, when you budget, you need to be able to have money to spend for the fire alarm, the fire sprinkler, generator, and your reserve gas. Those are typically the most expensive investment that you will end up having to come up front. Most people who are doing residential, typical 6-bedroom house, anywhere from 3 to 6 bedroom house, you're looking at fire sprinkler, you're looking at anywhere from 7,000 and up. Fire alarm, you're looking at anywhere from 8,000 and up. And then for your generator, these are normally 22 kW type of setup from what I've seen my clients use. Remember, I license clients throughout the state of Florida. So I've seen different sizes of rooms, different square footage, and what the typical number is. Now, the way that you will know for sure how much you will end up spending is based on the square footage of your home in the area where you are. So your best bet is to download. I have a free workbook on my website where you can keep everything in one place. And you can actually call those contractors in your area. You can literally Google fire sprinkler company near me. Call them, have them come to your business and actually give you a quote. That's how you will know. At this point, I'm giving you estimates based on what I've seen, averages I've seen my clients pay, but it could be way more or way less, depending on your location and the square footage of your home. So we covered the fire sprinkler and the generator. So typically generators, like the typical 22 kW, you're looking at anywhere from 18,000, sometimes a little bit more or less, depending on how much the square footage of your home is and how much the prices are in that area. Now, there are options where you can choose to finance or you can buy cash. We also have other people that have chose to use the portable generator. I do have a video on this. It's a bit cheaper, but it have to be installed properly by a licensed electrician. Find this video. You could see where I actually went out and showed you what proper installation means, okay? And your reserve gas system. ACA requires you to have at least 96 hours of fuel time on site, but you also require to have a gas tank where you can actually host the gas. And then you also have to have the gas on site. So on average, you're looking at anywhere from $2,000. At a minimum, I like to tell my clients to have around 200 gallons of gas on site because it can get expensive to have the gas company come out and refuel for you. So in the beginning, I also understand you're on a strict budget, but you also want to have enough gas on site. So your ideal number, if you're a 6 to 8 bed ALF, you're looking at anywhere from 200 or 250 gallons of gas on site. You should be okay. Number 4 is really your zoning. So if you have a property already and you've done all this planning, you're in the right environment, you have the right mentor to help you, and now you already know around how much money you're going to need. You have a plan, whether you're going to get a loan, get a line of credit from your home. Anyway, you have a plan. Use your credit card. Whether you're going to do a joint venture with a friend or a family member or a business partner, you have a plan. Now you have to establish your property. So your property can also be part of your planning. For example, if you already have a property, you already know your most investment will be those installations. Those things I just mentioned are your installations. But if you don't have a property, you know you need to also account for the purchasing of the property. That alone is a separate budgeting. So at this point, if you already have a property, you know you have to make sure this property is zoned before you actually get any installations done to this property. So you're going to reach out to the planning and zoning department and you're literally going to go Google. Say, for example, you live in Port St. Lucie Planning and Zoning Department. Their area is the neighborhood services. But nonetheless, I'm just using this as an example. You Google your cities planning and zoning department, and you ask them, is this property zoned? Your best bet is to send an email. Once they give you a yes or a no, regardless of what they tell you, you're going to fill out an application. Sometimes if they say no and they provide justification to show other properties that prevented you from being zoned, because residential assisted living have a distance requirements that you have to meet. So if another ALF is already ongoing within that distance requirement, sometimes it's 600 feet, 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet. It depends. Your city will tell you. And if you have a city that tells you they don't give the distance requirement, you have to go by what the rules and regulations of ACA is. We know it's within 1,000 feet. But nonetheless, sometimes they are going to ask you for a research, which is a service that we also provide for you if you don't want to do the research. But it's practically to see who is other residential community homes are within the distance requirements of that new business that you're trying to do. If they provide you justification with the no, then you don't need to do an application. If they didn't, do an application, because now their zoning department is required to actually do a research and tell you yes or no based on the existing residential community homes that are within that area that meet that distance requirement. If you're buying a home, you're going to do the same thing. If you're renting a home, because you can also rent to do this business, you're going to do the same thing. The only difference is with your landlord, you're going to negotiate a long-term lease, 5 years or more, ideally 10 years. Okay. So that's your zoning. You're going to make sure before you do anything that your zoning is in order. I have come across people that come to me way too late. They've already purchased a property only to find out the property is not zoned after I do my research. And could you imagine buying a property only to find out that it's not zoned? Or worse, installing a fire alarm sprinkler or generator system in a property that is not zoned. It is too expensive. You don't want to go that route. Number 5, no empty buildings. Okay. Yes, I'm saying it. There's this misconception that if you have a building that you're turning into an assisted living or a group home, that it has to remain empty. That is not true. I have licensed several clients who live in their house with their children and hired my one-on-one consulting services. And we've been able to help them get their ALF license. And then once they have their ALF license, they move and then they have the business running as an assisted living. Okay. So you can get your ALF license while you live in the house. I've done it. My clients were able to get their ALF license on first inspection. Okay. And they lived in the house. So it's just what you do and how you position the house. This is also true if you own the house and you want to rent it to a tenant. We go into strategies that you can implement. For example, having the tenant go to a hotel around the time where you have the most traffic, the sprinkler installation, because they're actually going to break into the walls to install the system and it can get really messy. So instead of keeping the property empty for 6 to 8 months, you can actually have a tenant there and then you work something out. You have the tenant go to a hotel, make it a vacation for them, get a nice hotel, take some of that rental income and get a nice hotel for your client to go to. And now you don't have to stress about carrying a mortgage while you're spending money to actually get the business up and running. Those are the 5 things you want to do if you want to find success in opening your residential assisted living or group home right here in Florida. And of course, we offer community inside of the Thriving Circle community. I educate on how to make sure that they're making the right decisions using all of the experiences that I've helped clients open their ALFs throughout the state of Florida on first inspections, and also dealing with different scenarios that comes up. We have people that are just in the beginning phases where they don't have a property yet. They're getting this valuable education and having direct access to me. We also have those who are already licensed and they're dealing with issues with managing staff and navigating that first year of actually operating their ALFs, bringing in residents issues and resident deaths when someone passes away, what to do, issues with your administrator, whatever it may be. We also have those that are in the middle of the process that are getting their ALF license and they're in the process. And you find yourself in a community of like-minded people where you can actually begin to have friends in the industry. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Carlene Cadet Francois. I help busy professionals convert buildings into thriving assisted living in group homes in Florida. And I hope you find this video valuable. Click the link in the descriptions. You'll find a whole bunch of ways that you can work with me if you feel called to do so. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.